What's up, you guys, and welcome to another trading analytics video. I'm Trade Runner, and today we had some incredible action in the stock market, led, of course, by the market leader of 2024 and likely beyond, NVIDIA. But before we get into that, if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this type of content. It really helps us out. So now let's get right into the video. NVIDIA has had a massive 2024, as well as a big 2023 as well. But it's the most recent news following its earnings and the announcement of its 10-to-1 stock split has had investors really piling into the ticker. Today, we had a massive gap up on NVIDIA's chart, blasting through previous all-time highs, which again were just set last week, in part due to news that Elon Musk, famous Tesla founder and CEO, announced that it's going to be adding NVIDIA chips to its new XAI venture, right? So it's going to be buying NVIDIA chips to power its new supercomputer. So of course, when that news got out, it kind of sent the ticker into a frenzy, even more so than it was, and we had a massive day, culminating with us closing around $1,140 per share. Now, again, we have our 10-to-1 stock split coming up in a few weeks, which is going to bring these shares back down to about $140 per share if this was to be the current price. But the way the action's going right now, I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA blasts right back up, similar to what Tesla did when they did their stock split back in 2021. Now, let's get into some things that are pretty interesting on NVIDIA's chart. So as you can see here, I'm looking at the hour time frame. I'm actually going to jump over here to the 15 minutes on NVIDIA, and you can get a little bit of a better picture of what I'm eyeing out here. So I am not one to say, hey, let's go out there and blindly short NVIDIA, right? But it's starting to form a pretty interesting chart pattern on the mid-tier intraday timeframes, right? So if you look at the 15-minute, you can see what looks to be a left shoulder forming here. And if this continues to form and establish itself as a clear head with some downside potential at this 1143 mark, now that those been established as our all-time highs, there's a chance that we can play this potential gap fill with the formation of this head and shoulders pattern, right? So that being the case, it's pretty important for us to kind of look at and see the price action of NVIDIA, because again, it's the hottest stock in the market. You don't want to just go in here and blindly short. But I do think it's worth noting that this head and shoulders pattern is a potential way for us to kind of close the gap, consolidate here about 10,070, and then rocket back up to brand new heights on the ticker. Because as we all know, nothing in the stock market goes straight up, not even NVIDIA, right? So those are my thoughts on NVIDIA. I actually want to jump over here to another ticker very quickly, and it's one of my favorite tickers of all time. That's Google, right? So here, I'm actually going to jump over to the 4-hour on Google, and you'll see a similar type pattern forming on this ticker as well. Now, earlier today in our Discord, you see we actually played some Google puts right out the gates off of its insane pop in the morning. We were around 178, 179, shorted those 177.50 puts and made a killing off of it, right? Those did about 80% in about 15 minutes, if that. So when I chart Google, one thing to note about the ticker overall, Google is very stable in terms of adhering to chart patterns and trends, right? So the formation I'm seeing here on Google is a little bit more clear than NVIDIA because it's a little bit more matured than NVIDIA's chart due to this breakout, right? So you see here we have the left shoulder pattern, the head, and then the downside, which would form the right shoulder pattern. So any close below this 176 area here is likely going to put us on base for a target of 170 on Google in the near term future. So that would be my target price for the head and shoulders, because again, this would probably pretty much be the midpoint of the range that it's currently trading at right now. If it loses 170, then I do believe that 165 is actually going to be the next support area, because that was previous all-time highs on Google prior to the most recent breakout here. And should that fail, we'll see a retrace back down to 161. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case just based off how powerfully the market's been performing recently, and the fact that we're in an election year, they don't want to tank the market, right? But overall, I do want to put this again on your guys' radar because it's something I'm watching very heavily for a candle close below this 176 mark here to send us down to close that head and shoulders pattern fully. So that's my favorite ticker, Google, and something I think that we all should be kind of watching there. And finally, I know we're going rapid fire today, guys, but I want to give you a look at, again, one of my most intriguing setups. I talked about this earlier this morning in our Discord server, and I wanted to put this on everybody's watch list at least. Now, this Shopify is a notoriously slow mover. If there's not any like news, whether it's AI, ER or some online retail news, but it's in an interesting zone because I was looking at this triple bottom area here, right? As evidenced by these red circles. Triple bottom with two scenarios likely to happen out of the triple bottom. We're either going to break below this $57 zone, and which would send us down to $53, or push towards this $59, $60 range, which a breakout from here would put us towards a retest of $63, which I'll put here for our green target line, right? So that's kind of what I'm eyeing for Shopify, right? I do think, as evidenced by the kind of close that we had on the intraday hourly time frame, that the upside scenario on this ticker is far more likely. The problem is, again, it moves like a snail, very, very slowly. But overall, if you want to take a little bit of a longer swing, I wouldn't be opposed to taking that out here on Shopify as well. Target area, boom. So all in all, again, this is just a quick video. Just wanted to give you guys some insight to some of the tickers that we, one, have been talking about actively in our Discord server. Two, just give you some updates on the major market movers such as NVDA and Google, which are, again, two of the 5 biggest companies in the world, right? And I mean, that's pretty much it. Link to our Discord server will be in the description of this video, as well as in our channel bio. So if you guys enjoy that content, like, subscribe, comment on this video, and come check us out on our Discord server. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.